Hey everyone, so today's video is going to be another repurchase or pass video, and I started this series a couple weeks ago with all of my blushes. So basically I'm going category by category, and each individual product I tell you whether or not I would repurchase them. And I do have a puppy in my room with me today, so if you hear any dog noises, that's what that is. So let's just go ahead and get straight into the product. So I'm gonna start off with creams. So this first one is this Nude Sticks highlighter in the shade Hey Honey. And this is kind of a little bit too deep for me, especially in the winter time. I feel like in the summer I can make it work, but it's just not my favorite. It came in a set with 3 mini Nude Sticks products, and I just kind of want to finish this off and get it out of my collection because I definitely would not repurchase this. The next product is from Benefit, and Benefit is not cruelty free. This is their What's Up highlighter, and it's currently in my Mission 100% cruelty free project pan. So I think you probably know I would not repurchase this. Obviously, I don't support cruelty or non-cruelty free brands anymore. The next one is a highlighter from Ciate London. This is the Dewy Sticks, and it's in the shade Glow. It's pretty much just like a sheer sort of dewy glow. Like, it doesn't really have any pigment to it. It just sort of makes your cheeks look wet. But I don't really love this. I think I purchased this because of Alley Glines, but it does stay very, very tacky and sort of sticky on your cheeks. So I don't love this. It's not my favorite cream highlighter just because it stays so tacky. I do love the way it looks, but I just don't love that tacky feeling on my cheeks. So I don't think I would repurchase this one. Then I have my only liquid highlighter in my collection. This is the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops. These are in the shade Moonlight, and I've had these for a really long time, and I do really, really love them. They definitely give a super intense highlight, which sometimes I do like that look, and they're not glittery at all. It's literally just like an intense wet glowy finish. So I do really, really love these. I definitely only use a tiny bit each time I use them, so these will probably be in my collection forever. But I think I actually would repurchase this, especially because it is the only liquid highlighter that I have in my collection. I'm happy to have this in my collection, and I'm happy to have it as the only liquid highlighter in my collection. So I don't think I would purchase any other liquid highlighters. I am really happy with this one, and I definitely would repurchase it as my only liquid highlighter. Next, I have a Super Shock Cheek from ColourPop. This was in one of the Kathleen Lights collections. It is in the shade On the Cusp, and this, I don't know how I feel about this because I never reached for my Super Shock Cheek highlights. This is actually in a chopping block right now, so I'm debating on whether or not to declutter this. I don't think I would repurchase this. Right now, I am not purchasing from ColourPop, so as of right now, I would say no, I would not repurchase this. And then I have a really similar product, not from ColourPop. This is basically exactly the same as the Super Shock Cheeks. It's from the brand Space Case Cosmetics, and it's in the shade Seen from Space. And I do really, really love this, and I think I would actually repurchase this. I got it in a BoxyCharm, so like if my option was to get it in that BoxyCharm again or not have it, I would choose to want this in my collection, or I guess technically repurchase it. And I do like the sort of Super Shock Cheek formula. I do apply it sort of just like a normal highlighter with a highlighting brush. So I do enjoy this, and I feel like it's a little bit more of a unique color. It's like a really icy, sort of pale gold, but I feel like it almost has some green in it. So I feel like it is a little bit more unique to my collection, and I would like to have at least one highlighter in this sort of formula in my collection. So this is one I think I would end up repurchasing. Now I'm getting into powder highlights. The first one is from Laura Geller. This one is in the shade Gilded Honey. This is kind of a classic. This is only a little mini, and it is currently in my chopping block just because I haven't used it very much since I have got it. But the other day I used this and I really, really loved the way it looked. And because this is just a mini, I love mini products, so I feel like I would choose to repurchase this. Obviously, I don't have a very solid opinion on it just because I haven't used it a ton, which is why I put it in my chopping block. But I feel like I would choose to repurchase this. I know, puppy. I know. Sit. The next highlight is my Abh Amrezy highlight, and this is one of my favorite highlights. You can probably see my dog in the background right now. But this is, like I said, one of my favorite highlights. It's just super glowy and dewy, and it is like a pretty gold champagne shade, and I feel like it's Atlas. Seriously? My dude. Okay, I will play with you in a few minutes. This is one of my favorites in my collection, so obviously I would choose to repurchase it. The next highlight is from Makeup Geek. This is in the shade Nightlight, and I'm not sure if I would choose to repurchase it. It is currently in my project pan, and I like it. It's just like a gold champagne type of shade, which I have a bunch of in my collection. So I feel like it's just sort of redundant. So I feel like this one I would not choose to repurchase, even though I do love supporting Makeup Geek and like having their products in my collection. I feel like it's just not necessary in my collection because I have other highlights like this. The next highlighter is from Ofra. This is part of the Samantha March collection, and it is in the shade Start Inspired. So it is sort of like a split pan, and I don't remember the exact shades that are split. I think it's Star Island and another shade, but it's basically a really pale gold shade and then also a sort of really light pink shade, which I really love because I don't have many pink highlighters in my collection, and I feel like this is a more unique shade in my collection. I also like that you can mix the two together to sort of get a champagne pinky in between look, or get a more pink or a more gold highlight. And I like sort of the versatility of this, and this highlighter is so intense. So if you don't like intense highlighters, you definitely would not like the Ofra highlighters, but that's kind of what they're known for. These are definitely super intense. They make your skin look so wet and glowy, but it's not glittery at all. It's literally just a straight up like not really metallic, because then you think of like a metallic eyeshadow and that's not really nice as a highlight, but it's just so glowy and like smooth on the cheeks. I don't even know how to explain it, but it is really intense. This is probably the most intense highlight I have in my collection. I would definitely repurchase this. I purchased the whole Samantha March collection, the original collection she came out with, and I'm really happy I did. I definitely love this highlighter and would choose to repurchase it. The next highlight is my Laura Mercier highlight. This is the classic sort of matte highlight, and it's actually called the Matte Radiance Baked Powder, and this is just the most natural glow from within sort of highlighter. I love layering this off of over intense highlighters, sort of like the Ofra highlight, just to sort of diffuse it a little bit and make it look a little bit more natural. I feel like this just makes anything look natural, and it gives such a beautiful diffused glow from within type of look. So this one I definitely would choose to repurchase, and it is just a little mini. I got this in a set with a bunch of other products. It was one of those Sephora holiday, I think it was like a Sephora favorite set that I purchased a while ago, and I'm really glad that I have this in my collection. The next product is from Fenty. This is the highlight in the shade Hustla Baby, and I really love this. It's sort of like a peachy gold highlight, and I feel like I don't have many like sort of peachy shades in my collection, so this is another one of my favorite highlights. So I feel like I would repurchase this. The only thing with that is Fenty is not considered to be certified cruelty free. They're sort of in that gray area, so I'm kind of hesitant to purchase from Fenty right now, but I do really love this highlight. And then the last highlighter we have is from Becca. I used to have 4 of these minis, and I ended up decluttering 3 of the 4. This is the only one I have left. This one is Prismatic Amethyst, and I kept this one because I felt like it was a lot more unique. It's sort of like one of those duochrome highlights. It's like a pinky goldish shift, but it is definitely very unique to my collection. I don't have anything else like this, and to be honest, the Becca highlights are not my favorite formula. I don't really understand the hype of them. I don't know if it's just these minis that I got that I don't really like as much as some of my other highlights, because the highlighter that I have in the Jaclyn Hill and Becca face palette I really love. So obviously that's a very old palette, so I'm not sure if that formula is a lot different from these minis, but I do prefer the formula in that face palette. I feel like it's a lot different than these mini highlights. So these Becca highlights, specifically this one, it came in a set of 4. Like I said, I already decluttered 3 of the 4. I feel like I wouldn't repurchase these. I feel like it's just not necessary to have them in my collection. There's other highlighters I like more than these Becca highlights. But that is it for all of the highlighters in my collection. I will be filming, obviously continuing with this series, filming probably my bronzers next. And obviously these don't include my face palettes, so I will do a separate video on all of my face palettes for a repurchase and pass episode. But if you do enjoy the series, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Also let me know what category you would like to see next. And if you do like my videos, make sure to subscribe. I do post new videos 3 times a week, so also make sure to hit that bell icon to get notified every time I post. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.